thumbs up for her to be in this game. And we were talking to Joanna Burnaby-Maccabee just about the importance of her on the floor. She said, send up a few prayers for us. And it seems like it works because Jasmine, she's able to head to the circle for jump ball against Makayla Timpson.
I mean, she's top 10 in program history in blocks, so I'm sure with the defense they're going to need today, they're happy to have her on the floor.
The leading returning scorer, rebounder, assists, as well as shot blocker from last year, as you alluded to. And Boston College starts off with the ball. You can see the BC starting five, as we mentioned, who are logging a lot of minutes within this season, but they start off the first possession, coughing it up with the first turnover. FSU starters, as we mentioned before, Florida State coming in with a 5-0 or 4-0 record in ACC play, but one of the biggest highlights has to be Taina Mair, who has made a living at the free throw line. So this is very fitting that the first look that she'll get is at the charity stripe. As you can see, 34 consecutive free throws.
And probably not the way Boston College would want to start this game with the turnover and then a foul to put Latson on the line. Definitely don't want to give her too many easy looks to see go through.
She had 2 games where she was perfect from the line. She set a record, 13 for 13 versus Clemson, and then doubled that down when she had an impressive 15 for 15 game from the free throw line. And when we were talking to head coach now, Brooke Wyckoff, she said that's what she expects to do every game and has made a living from that point. Gives the Noles a 2-0 lead to start. We'll go back over to Coach Brooke Wyckoff in her first season. Very familiar with this Seminole program as she was a standout of her own. Her jersey, if you look to the rafters, number 21, you'll see, it was retired in 2006. And when she had that interim head coaching year when Sue Simrau took some time away with family, she was even up for Coach of the Year honors. And so to see what she's been able to do with this program to this point, you definitely have to tip her hat. One of 4 new head coaches in the ACC.
I loved what she was talking about the culture at FSU, making sure that she brings back that family atmosphere, that togetherness, and that's a lot of what she's proud of about the start that her team has been off to this season.
She mentioned how she continues to build off of the foundation from Sue Simrau, who spent a great deal of time at Florida State. I was actually coached by her as well, and I can indeed say that the person-student athlete is very important. And you talked about the culture and what she does, the family there. As you can see Dave Flettle on the sideline as well. The personnel does not change. Rebound brought in by Makayla Timpson. Latson short on the 3. The Eagles looking for their first points. Only returning 27, close to 28% of their scoring from last year. We already talked about who that's highlighted by. Maria Gagdane, who drives baseline, is able to step up to the free throw line. We'll see who's in charge for the Eagles now with Coach Joanna Burnaby-Maccabee, but everyone calls her Coach Mac, so we're gonna stick to the same thing. But you have to acknowledge what she's been able to do in her tenure, in her 5 seasons at Boston College. 2 of the last 3 seasons, she's had 20 or more win seasons. So that's very impressive when you're looking at how she's trying to build this program into a postseason program.
And she's proud of what her group has been able to do as far as, you know, they didn't have expectations other than just to play hard and to come out every game and be focused and be together and play hard. And that's something that they talked about today. It's just, you know, coming out here and really focusing on maybe being that upset team for this season.
She mentioned just how they've been able to play well against other teams, as that's a nice look from the top of the key for the Noles. But just how they've had different players. I think they've had 5 different players that were transfers. And just recently with NC State seeing a former Eagle on the other side, she said, how do we build up that energy to say, we got to take it personal? And so they're looking for that juice, as she called it on the call against Florida State.
She also said her point guard, that Taina Mair, she always brings the juice.
JoJo Lacey gets the rebound. Eagles trying to tie here. Long shot by JoJo Lacey. That's going to be sent out of bounds, and the Noles will get it back. We earlier mentioned about the players that transferred out of Boston College. Here's a look on the side. Cameron Schwartz at Georgia Tech. They have yet to see Virginia Tech. But as we mentioned, too, just a couple of players that they were saying, hey, we have to make sure that whenever we go against them, they miss home a little bit.
Absolutely, but it also gives a lot of opportunity for these young players to be able to come into their own and have a lot of responsibility this season. And you know, that's an adjustment that's tough to do, but they have been handling it well.
How about back-to-back buckets by Jasmine Massengill? 4 points for her. Also extends the lead to 4.
Massengill, who Coach Wyckoff said is one of the best leaders that she's had the chance to be around in the college game.
And one of those players that keeps everyone together on the floor as well, a glue player, if you will. Jasmine, you know a thing or two about how important that is on a roster. She's a transfer from Kentucky and actually had a ACC title there in the conference tournament as well.
For sure, and she's not a high-volume shooter or scorer, but she makes the right decisions in the big moments. She's very efficient when she has the ball.
How about Dontavia Waggoner missing point blank at the rim? Those are the looks that they want, but have to convert on underneath. Dish on the inside to Valencia Myers. She can't connect. And finally, one goes down as Boston College gets the nice look. That's one's coming from Andrea Daly. So Andrea Daly averaging about 11 points per game, known for her defense. So you'll see her on the assignment as Latson as well. An offensive foul will be assessed against Florida State. A couple of substitutions for the Noles.
Both of these teams like to push pace, and it seems like the game's kind of off to a choppy little start. So I'll be interested to see how it gets once both teams really settle in and find a rhythm.
Allie Van Timmeren checks in for Boston College as well. You mentioned the flow that you're looking for, the choppiness to start. So who does that play into? We talked about the pace and how important that is. What pace really helps Boston College walk away with another upset?
Well, Coach Mack had mentioned that, you know, in their Notre Dame game, she tried to control the tempo of the game to not give so many possessions to Notre Dame, but it took away from their style of play. So they're not looking to do that today. They're looking to play their game and keep it up tempo. But like I said, that's how Florida State likes to play too. So it's more so about the decision making and what they're doing when they get those transition opportunities.
Gordon in the ballgame, coming off the bench for the Noles after she was a stellar player in her freshman year. Noles can't walk away, adding points on the board. In that last possession, Florida State right now 2 for 9 from the field. O-board number 3, but that one's going to be over the back as Allie Van Timmeren picks up the foul there. Just under 5 to go in the first 2 over the Eagles. We talked about the experience taking the floor. It's a stark difference when you're looking at the Noles and Boston College. We mentioned off the top that there are no seniors or grad students on Boston College's roster. For Florida State, they have 5. Had a couple of players that also transferred out of their program. But when you look at the experience and the depth that they have on the bench as well, it really adds to the success that we're seeing from them so early in ACC play.
It does, and it always interests me when teams have a freshman point guard that is having some success early, who has great potential, who is showing just how good she can be, but that has to adjust to being a leader of a team in such a pressure situation. And Coach Mack said that she saw that from Taina Mair in the NC State game.
Allie Van Timmeren at the buzzer is able to knock down the 3. Brings in within 4 minutes to play in this first quarter. Maria Valenzuela tried to work baseline, looking for help in Timpson underneath. That bounces off her leg.
Defense is a huge part of the game plan for Boston College in this game. Being able to switch it up and keep them guessing and be disruptive. And here you see great ball movement from the Seminoles that leads to the wide open corner three. At the other end, you have Van Timmeren for three off the bench.
So Sara Bejedi able to knock it down in that last play for Florida State. And the Eagles were able to respond with a three of their own. So we'll see if this is a ball game where we were expecting to see the length and athleticism on the inside, but maybe the three ball in which both teams have improved. We'll see if they'll get it done on the outside as well. Daly working baseline. She's stopped by Mariah Gordon. And Latson, who is just as quick as they come, gets it and can't finish at the rim in transition.
It would be nice to see her finish that. That's something that we talked about with Coach Wyckoff yesterday, is when she's off to a slow start, she tries to find a way to impact the game in another way, and usually by getting a steal. So you might see her here kind of try to get hot in other ways.
You can see the pace change as well when they have Gordon on the floor, the sophomore out of Bradenton, Florida. There's a foul that's assessed against the Eagles. Well, two more great women's basketball games follow us this afternoon here on the ACC Network. Haley Van Lith and Louisville have won 6 of 7, and the Cards will host Pitt at 2 Eastern. Then it's a top 25 matchup between 4th-ranked Notre Dame and 22-ranked North Carolina. Sunday afternoons are for women's basketball on the ACC Network. So Florida State continues to build on their lead, 11-7. 4 different players have already scored for the Noles. We talked about the balance that they've had coming into this year, and Dontavia Waggoner. You see the sense of urgency from her, really aggressive, putting that on the defense, the pressure on defense for the Noles.
And here you see this nice take by O'Brien on this last basket, who actually before an injury was second on the team in scoring. She's a nice spark off the bench.
The transfer from Bucknell. You talked about her being the spark off the bench. She returned out versus UM after missing 10 straight games with that lower leg injury. Just continues to be that spark, as you mentioned. Dontavia Waggoner stepped up to the free throw line for the 2nd time in this ball game. Drains 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. O'Brien tried to work baseline, nothing there. Went against Daly. I think she got a hand on it there. The scoop rolls around and finally falls.
That is a nice, strong take, good patience. You see them just penetrating, trying to find their best shot, and it ends with a great drive.
We talked about Latson. We talked about even Timpson for Florida State, but how about Jasmine Massengill with 6 early points for the Noles?
She's just a great player for them. She really does. It seems like when they don't have anything going, she comes up with the play. Here you see her. She attacks the closeout, does the little Euro step through with the left finish. Great take.
The senior from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Obviously talked about her tenure at Kentucky. That bounces around for O'Brien,
who continues to be very aggressive. She knows what her role is for this team. She's going to try to score and just keep bringing that energy.
So Aaron Howard checks in for the Noles. can say this pretty much throughout their starting lineup outside of Taina Mair. A lot of experience that they have there. Offensive foul is going to be charged against Mair.
That is exactly what Coach Mack says that she wants from her team. She had mentioned that part of the game plan was to be able to take charges, and especially on the best player. That is a great play.
Knowing the personnel, you understand that for Taina Mair, she's been able to get to the free throw line. We talked about the streak, 34 straight consecutive free throws that she's been able to knock down. But they cough it right back up as Jasmine Massengale going against Waggoner. Nothing there. They'll actually stay with the Noles. It's a very interesting. So it almost seemed like it touched Massengale on the way out, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna switch this one up.
I believe that if it hits a player when they're out of bounds, yeah, it should.
Yeah.
I think that was the right call.
So a foul at the top of the key is time is dwindling in this first quarter. That's going to go against Taylor O'Brien.
Yeah, kind of just got ambitious there, wanted to try to tip the ball and just got caught for the reach. That's a great pass by Taina Mair, who sees the floor. So great for a freshman.
So Ali Van Timmeren just pitched a tent right in the paint, is able to walk away with 2 points and brings it within 2. See if they can get a stop here. The nice look on the other end. But no, Florida State with a nice triple as the quarter comes to zeros and they extend their lead 16-11.
She's leading all scorers with a great take from Massengale to get her Florida State team going so far.
A close one throughout this ball game, but Florida State hit a huge 3 to extend their lead 16-11. A big part of that is Aaron Howard, who's been lights out, knocks this one down with zeros on the clock right after that. And Jasmine, that's what it really comes down to for Florida State. We know that they can get the ball to the rim, but how they extend the floor in their improved three-point ball is very impressive.
For sure, they're unselfish and they share the ball. So you see the best player on the team, you know, drawing some defense, seeing her shooter wide open. Howard, you know, leads this team in field goals made. I think she's at like, now 31 three-pointers made. So that's just a heads-up play. That's a great team basketball. And, you know, it's fun to watch when they play that way.
And you can see the numbers never lie, looking at what they rank in the ACC as well as nationally. Down the line, just being able to improve in the three-point line. But as far as 4th in the country in scoring offense at 88 points per game, you can understand that they can score at a high clip from different levels on the floor. Right away, Latson at the rim.
I would expect to see her get going here, kind of being more aggressive and looking for her own shot a little more.
That's actually her first field goal of the ball game. We talked about her efficiency from the free throw line. So Latson now with 4. The Eagles with a nice little response of their own.
Also something in the game plan is to look high-low. Coach Mack said she's aware of their advantages that they have in that situation, and that's something that she wanted to look for them to do.
And a foul assessed, and so the Eagles will be able to get the ball back. This one's going to go against Valencia Myers, but let's go back to Latson. You've seen this all season and carrying it over to today.
Just rejected the screen and got down that lane line with a strong finish between 2 defenders.
One of those players where hands up may not work is how you defend her with your feet, because she can just be so crafty getting to her shot.
She is, and she's also a good passer, so it just makes it hard to really contain her.
So that was blocked by Valenzuela. We knew coming into this ball game that we had a couple of program bests as far as blocks on both sides. Valenzuela joining that block party as well. Block called. Another type of block. on the baseline.
Yeah, wanting to be aggressive with Latson is what I can expect, but aggressive without fouling. I think that will be the key. Pressuring her, trying to wear her out, but not fouling.
The Noles will reset with 14 on the shot clock.
It's a great driving kick.
They get the O board. You mentioned the great driving kick and how they score a majority of their points off the dribble drive. Another offensive foul is going to be assessed against the Noles. This one goes against Aaron Howard.
Again, it is the game plan for them to look to take charges, so I'm sure Coach Mack is proud of her team being locked into the scouting report and knowing exactly what they're trying to accomplish on the defensive end.
So Dontavia Waggoner has had multiple looks on the left side right at the rim. If she could just get those to fall, we're looking at a tie ball game.
Yeah, really just needs to focus and take her time and put it in. It's almost like she might be rushing, but she's doing a great job getting to the rim. She just needs to reward herself.
Last year had no starts in the 31 games, has a spike in the production that she's been able to give the Eagles this season. Latson, ahead of everyone, gets the deuce.
And there you see more of the speed that Florida State would like to play at. You know, if they can get rebound missed shots or get some steals and get out in transition, it's what they would like to do.
Waggoner connects on the layup, makes it a 5-point game. But Jasmine, going back to that as well, you can see Latson getting that look because of a shot that Boston College took. So Coach Mack telling us that our best defense is in our offense as well.
For sure, you have to be selective with your shots, making sure that you're getting your best shot when everyone's ready to rebound, ready to get back.
Well, how about Dontavia Waggoner, ready for anything, gets the steal on one end and just delivers on the other side. Jasmine, I do think they're like pumping us in the arena at this point.
I know, I think she heard us talking about her. She's like, I'm gonna start finishing these now.
Bejedi with another three. That's what she's known to do. Coming in, she already had 10 threes on the season. Knocks down her second of the day. Ali Van Timmeren dishes it off. A nice look underneath, sharing the ball as McGee is now on the board for the Eagles.
That was a great shot fake. Great shot fake and finish.
So 6 assists on 7 made field goals for the Eagles. As Ava McGee comes down with the rebound, you can see the pace in which they're trying to push. And the push off there by Lacey gives the ball back to the Noles.
Both teams have a great fast break ability, and here you see that now with the run-out layup for Latson, and then followed by the breakout layup from Dontavia Waggoner, who gets herself going with a little rhythm here after the start.
So Dontavia Waggoner, we talked about her coming into this ball game, 23 points, 10 rebounds in their upset win over NC State. She also had a career high 27 points versus Boston University. Lacey right away, her eyes in the rim, but that can't connect with Gagdane. Well, here's our ACC Network Wednesday night college basketball doubleheader at 7 Eastern. Blake Henson in Pittsburgh square off against Kyle Filipowski in number 16 Duke at Cameron Indoor. Then Florida State, they head to Winston-Salem to take on Tyree Appleby and the Demon Deacons. We'll see if that game comes down to the wire. Both games are also available on the ESPN app. Sure you tune in. We've seen a lot of upsets on both sides with both the men and women. Thursday nights have been pretty crucial in ACC play for the women's side as well.
Sure, it's been interesting.
Valencia Myers checks in the ball game. She comes in for Erin Howard. Seven on the shot clock.
Offense a bit stagnant for Boston College right now, kind of searching for something.
But they've been able to come up with second chance opportunities. You talked about the offensive rebound by Gakdang, but how do they establish their half-court presence right now? They're getting the looks at the rim. What else can they do?
I mean, Gakdang is getting good position down low. You see her really working hard for it before that offensive rebound. Just got to get it down there and finish it. You know, she had a high-low pass that she bobbled a little bit, but I still think that's the right look.
So we'll take a break right now. Florida State knocking down a flurry of threes gives them the 23-19 lead over the Eagles.
With a friend as a freshman, you know, just it's an adjustment period. It's so much adversity, so much to adjust to, and to be able to do that with someone that you have experience with and a good relationship has to be cool.
I think, too, just building off of that as well, they understand your style of play, but then also coming in as young players, understanding how to challenge one another if they are known to win. You can see the nice look underneath by Valenzuela. You just have that confidence to say someone has my back, so that's really awesome to see that. Westlake is a powerhouse. I'm in the Georgia area to see them be able to dominate in that way, and they actually made it to 4 straight championship games. Is pretty impressive.
I had mentioned before that timeout that I thought getting the ball down low to Gakdang would be a good decision, and there you see her with the nice strong finish after getting a great position. I think they should look for some more of that.
So Gordon responds on the other end, getting a no board as well as a putback, but Gakdang, to your point, that's just her first field goal of the ball game, and only 2 times she's attempted a shot. So we'll see if they continue to force her the ball on the inside. Eagles with numbers, 3-on-1.
The nice look-off dish. Definitely think that one should have been an and one, but it's a great transition play, great 3-on-1, and they'll get some free throws out of it. Here you see Taina Mair pushing the break, looked it off, gets her teammate to the free throw line.
So we know the speed of Florida State. We're seeing the Eagles on how they can really finish the play. That was something we asked the Keys by Coach Mack, what is it going to come down to? She said, we have to finish the drill. Box out, you saw 4 players on the inside coming up with the ball in order for them to advance it.
And she also talked about having each other's back on defense, making that extra effort, covering each other. And you're seeing that. They're making things tough on Florida State and kind of breaking up their rhythm a little bit and turning that into some offense.
So Lacey knocks down the free throws. Ali Van Timmeren checks back in for the Eagles. Latson turned down the 3. O'Brien, that rims out. Florida State right now shooting 37% from the field. That's better than the Eagles right now at 25% from the field. The 3 ball has helped Florida State with this 27-23 lead. They've knocked down 3 triples. Eagles only have 1, and that came from Van Timmeren. Until then.
Big-time shot from the freshman right there to put them within 1. You know, she's a streaky scorer, streaky shooter, but she's definitely capable.
There from Boston, as you mentioned. Knocks down the 2nd triple for the Eagles. And Myers, that wasn't a hard call to make. Myers just clears out the paint, and the 3rd offensive foul against the Noles.
Here you see, just, yep, gets her with the little chicken wing a little bit, gets caught for the offensive foul.
I think I've seen you with the chicken winger, too. I know that you're a guard, but I've seen you post up a couple of times, so I'm going to have to keep my eye on that during the WNBA season.
You know, it's the angles. She didn't quite. The ref had that angle. She couldn't get away with that one.
Mair tries for another one, just short on that one. Massengill with the rebound. She advances in, Latson pulls it out. Top of the key shot by Massengill, no good. Another look on the inside. How about Ali Van Timmeren?
She is playing great today. She definitely is locked in. She's doing what her team needs. And that's a great find by Taina Mair to just find her wide open on the block right there.
Van Timmeren is averaging 4 points per game as there's a travel called for Florida State. But Van Timmeren having a stellar game at this point. Well, every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game and look ahead at the best games on the schedule in the coming week. That's coverage you can only get one place, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, so you can watch Muffet McGraw, Kelly Gremlick, and Kelsey Riggs anywhere. Driving baseline, how about this run, Boston College? Now with the 3-point lead as we have 1:11 left in this first half. Latson tries to respond, no good. Mair with the rebound. Waggoner has just made a home on the baseline. Working baseline has found different ways to find herself at the free throw line as Boston College is now in the bonus.
I just love how she doesn't settle. She continues to put pressure on the defense. Even when she wasn't finishing, it was giving her momentum. It was doing something for her team that they could play off of. And she's continued that now and had more success with it. She's finished some. She's got to the line. I like the aggression that I'm seeing from her.
Aggression we've seen all season. She has 2 2010 games. We just mentioned the one that she came off against NC State with 23 and 10 and continues to build on it as she extends their lead. 45 seconds in the game clock and a foul by the Eagles. So Mair with the reach in. It's going to be her second personal foul. So JoJo Lacey checks in as Mair sits with the 2 fouls. Off the bounce on the deck. Massengill couldn't get it to go. And the Eagles can hold for the last second of the half. The last second shot for the half.
That was a tough take. Good defense without fouling. I'll be interested to see who Boston College goes to for this last shot. Pretty good one to me.
I don't know if Boston College was asked for a better way to end the half. They are currently on a 13-0 run and outscoring Florida State 23-11 in that second quarter. We'll go to the studio so Kelsey can break down what we just experienced at Conti Forum.
Man, how about we saw from the Eagles there at the end?
Total column.
It's a credit to the Boston College defense, though. They wanted to be aggressive, be disruptive, switch it up, and you've seen them take a few charges, and that can definitely make players ease up on their aggression. So I think they were successful at that part of their game plan in the first half.
Both teams shooting about 33% from the field. It's been the 3 ball that's really been the indicator for the runs that we've seen within this ball game as well. Just to revisit the season series history, FSU leads the all-time series 18-2. As there's a foul that's going to be assessed against the Eagles. But when you're talking about playing at Conti Forum, Florida State, perfect, 8-0. When they make the trip up to Chestnut Hill, the last time they won there was 91-71 back in 2019. as Timpson is able to knock down the first of the pair. This is her first trip to the free throw line, and Jazz, her first point of the ball game.
Yeah, she's been quiet so far. I would have to say she's another player I would like to see get going and be a little bit more aggressive. And, you know, I said they would go to Latson, but the first play was to get it to her on the block. So I think maybe she's a player that they also need to kind of get going in this game.
Absolutely, if that's the first point for her in the ball game. This is a player that we highlighted in the open as the 1-2 punch for Florida State, and both of them a combined 8 points.
I would like to see Florida State really crank up their defense, really show the energy that they want to make a run soon. You know, it's kind of like they're just flowing, ebbing and flowing with the game, and I think they can push the issue a little more.
How about Mair pushing the issue? 33% from the field, but you go back here and see how they're able to execute this. A little bit of an elevator screen there, and knocks it down from the top of the key.
Just confident. She's taken a few today, and, you know, she knew the play was for her. She saw it, she was open, and she just let it fly and knocked it down.
2 for 5 from distance for Mair. Ten on the shot clock for the Eagles. And that just rolls out for Massengill to grab it down. Latson going all the way to the rim. That's completely denied. And this is going back and forth. This looks like an easy 2 that's going to go up, and does for Latson. And she now has 8 points in the ball game. 6-point lead for the Eagles. Skip pass to the corner for Waggoner. And you can see the pace in which they're running and executing their plays, Jasmine, knowing what they want out of each look.
Exactly. I just think they look intentional. They look patient. They know the shot that they want to get, and that is exactly what they have been talking about as a team. And I think it's, you know, they just look confident. They are playing well together.
Latson picks up her second foul. As you see the charge there, we'll go back to this nice bucket by Waggoner on the baseline.
It's a nice next level pass from Mair to find her Waggoner in the corner.
Mair once again working baseline, finding Waggoner. That one can't go down, and that's just right off the fingertips of JoJo Lacey. So we talked about a few different players. We highlighted different players on both sides, Jazz. So maybe they heard us on that as well, because Massengill has been able to step up in big times and really in runs for Boston College, just being able to step up in her mid-range game.
Right, they just need someone to kind of get a rhythm going, you know, to consistently kind of make something happen, whether that's scoring or making the pass or just making a play defensively. Someone just needs to kind of stand out and get everybody going.
Foul at the rim as Bejedi falls down on the floor. Flashback will go all the way to the last time that Boston College took down Florida State. I'll tell you this, Jazz, they were ranked 14th in the nation at that point, as they got a nice win in Donald Tucker Center. And how about this? Emma Guy led the way. She had 21 points, and now she's on the coaching staff trying to coach them up to do the same thing here today.
You know, Coach Mack talked about being able to motivate her team without, you know, we talked about it earlier, without playing against a team that one of the players have come from, you know, and I feel like they felt that in that NC State game, they grew as a team. And I think we're seeing them continue that confidence as a team and being able to play hard and stay focused and bring that same intensity every game.
We're seeing a little bit more of the intensity from Sara Bejedi. These are back-to-back possessions where Bejedi is just full steam ahead and drawing contact to get to the free throw line.
Which is good to see. If they can attack and transition and really attack in the paint and put the pressure on Boston College's transition defense, they will have some success. That was an emphasis for BC to try to, get back and get matched up. And I think that Florida State can push it more.
So that makes it a one-possession ball game, as Bejedi is now with 9 points at her season average. Lacey, short. Massengill, you can see her working the tempo, and another look underneath by Bejedi. They're gonna have to find a response for her. She's been super aggressive getting to the rim in this second half.
And way to get the ball up the floor quick. That outlet pass, it was long, it went the length of the floor, and not settling and just putting the pressure on Mair's feet and getting to the basket. Would love to see her finish a little better off of 2 feet, but she gets herself to the free throw line for a chance to put 2 in.
Can we go back to Massengill? We talked to Coach Wyckoff, and she talked about the best leader she's seen in her time, and it's been in Massengill because of how she keeps everyone together on the floor. You see it in instances where she's able to advance the ball up the floor, and that's a good reason why she leads the ACC in assist-to-turnover ratio as well, knowing when and where to find players on the floor.
Just a great decision maker, whether it comes to, like you said, finding her teammates up the floor, making a defensive play, a rebound, hitting a big shot. She is just truly that X factor for this Florida State team.
It comes down to big plays that lead to even bigger buckets. Aaron Howard with the steal on one end. And Bejedi is on fire in this third quarter. That gives Florida State the lead.
She is feeling it with the bounce in her step. You see the energy that Florida State has right now going into the break.
So Boston College had the lead at halftime. The Noles took that personal. And Bejedi with 14 points leads all players on fire here in the third.
Feels like we're onto something. Feels like a change is coming. Feels like a change is coming.
Pittsburgh, Louisville.
You kidding me? HBL.
Notre Dame, North Carolina.
Got it off the window. The three. Dream.
Florida State averaging 9 steals per game. They have 7 already today. And this is great defense leading to even better offense, Jazz.
Absolutely, and Bejedi, who only had 6 points at halftime, now has 14 as she hits that big shot that really gets her team feeling it. You see the energy. They've really turned it around quick here in just about 5 minutes.
So we'll go back to break. We'll be on the other side. Florida State up 2. You see? And she's pretty stylish as well. I like that blazer, Jazz.
I do too. The patterns standing out. I mean, I love former players as coaches just because you can relate to the experience, and she talks about having that family atmosphere and the relationships that she's built with her players. So I imagine that helps being able to motivate them.
I think, too, you hit the nail right on the head when you talk about the foundation that's laid, too, so you understand the culture and what the demands are for being a part of this family on either side. But when coaches going back, and I know that there have been a few that have done that within the ACC, that understand the importance of holding others accountable. Nice take on the inside. I believe that's Dontavia Waggoner. And we just mentioned it, one of 4 new faces in the ACC. We'll put a quote, air quotes, by new faces in the ACC. 4-0 start for her in conference play. 11 wins for Felicia Legette-Jack at Syracuse. She returns home as well. And Amaka Agupa-Hamilton, they call her Coach Mox. They had total 5 wins last season. They had a beautiful start as they were undefeated heading into conference play and are now sitting 2-2 in the ACC. So JoJo Lacey checks in the ball game for the Eagles. Florida State, who went on that impressive run, 12-1 run, right before the timeout. They have the 3-point lead as Gordon mishandles the ball, but Timpson, as we said in the open, said, "I got your back," and cleans it up for the 2.
Who has been quiet, so it's nice for her to come away with that loose ball and see it go through the hoop.
Timpson now with 6 points. She's had a slow start, as you mentioned, too. 2 of 4 from the field. Boston College searching for their first field goal in the last 3.5 minutes as they're shooting with a short shot clock off the rim, and they continue the drought. So Timpson lost the handle, but the Eagles will actually have to defend again. 2 more great women's basketball games follow us this afternoon here on the ACC Network. Louisville, they won 6 of their last 7, and the Cards will host Pitt at 2 Eastern. Then it's a top 25 matchup between Notre Dame and North Carolina. Sunday afternoons are for women's basketball on the ACC Network. Timpson again gets the ball back, and she gets it. Back-to-back buckets for Makayla.
A nice, strong take. Seems like she might be feeling it a little bit here, running off that momentum that her team has right now.
Momentum indeed. Third quarter, they have outscored Boston College 20-6, and that was a much-needed bucket to bring them within 5. And to also end that drought.
Got to talk about that juice that Mair has, you know, just such composure for a freshman.
O'Brien, before she could get the shot off, took 1 too many steps. That's going to be the 12th turnover for the Noles, as Mariana Valenzuela checks back in the ball game. She's been relatively quiet, 2 points, only 1 field goal.
Boston College looking for that high-low action that they talked about.
Oh, what a shot! That might make the highlight reel.
Definitely needs
Waggoner
to make that. I think she surprised herself by that one going in. But, you know, she's fighting down there with her size advantage, gets great position, and just flips it up and in.
You talked about the size advantage that she has. Taylor O'Brien, 5'9", the senior, trying to take on the 6-foot junior from Nashville, Tennessee. And Dontavia Waggoner just able to play bully ball underneath. He might make top 10 with that one.
And Boston College just hanging around. You know, they weathered that run from Florida State, and, you know, they're within 2.
You mentioned it, 20-11, the advantage for Florida State in the third quarter, as there's a travel call. The 15th turnover for the Noles. Eagles get the ball back. 2:13 to play here in the third quarter.
I would expect them to maybe look at that same play again, another high-low opportunity for Waggoner, and there it is, the exact same play. And there it is. They score off of it again. I think they should keep going to it.
Jasmine, I've seen you do it all. You can defend, you can score, you are just brilliant on the court, but you might need to coach at some point too, because you just dialed it up and drew it up just how they were going in the huddle with it, with Waggoner stepping up for the bucket.
When you find something that works, you just keep going at it. You know, why go away from it if you find some success? Make Florida State have to adjust and figure out how to stop it, and then you find another counter to go to from that.
They go inside to Gakdang. Didn't like her look, so she sends it back out to Waggoner. Less than 90 seconds in this third quarter. Touch pass on the inside.
It's a great extra pass and find.
So the Eagles get the ball back, but we always talk about this. If you don't take the dribble, you have an open look underneath. I felt like that was an open look for Daly.
It was. Absolutely. They get lucky to be able to get that one back, but I think she did pass up that open look.
Nassengill checks in. The ball game for Taylor O'Brien for the Noles. Gakdang sends it back out. Just off the back iron for Waggoner. Waggoner 6 for 17 from the field. Bejedi puts the ball on the hard wood and is able to draw the foul once again. She's been the answer in this third quarter. Bejedi has 10 points in this quarter alone. She had 6 in the first half.
And she's really got it done just by her energy and being aggressive. You know, she's known as a defender for this team. I think they called her the irritant, but she's using that as momentum to, you know, really just impact the game and make a difference and be aggressive. And, you know, she's had a huge impact in this quarter.
And started off her career at Arizona State, transferred into Florida State, and is averaging her best numbers this season, up 3 points on her career average. O'Board goes to Daly, sends it back out. Mair.
Daly's really helping them by getting a lot of extra possessions on those offensive rebounds.
What a possession for the Eagles. It's a series of hot potato at one point on the inside, and finally it goes down for Boston College as they bring it in within 2.
And here you see the offensive rebounding, finding each other, and just finding the best shot. You know, a little bit of bad shots leading to something better just by being relentless.
But I think I'll go back to this even. Maria Gakdang, one of those players, obviously, just coming back with leading the team in scoring, rebounds, assists, and blocks, but has needed help from this squad in so many different ways and different pieces being able to step up. You saw it there when she was able to tip the ball out to get an extra possession.
Yeah, just when it's not perfect and it's not pretty, still having that effort to, you know, like I said, just be relentless and still keep going after loose balls. I think that is what has been impressive.
So 2.6 left in the third quarter. That ball was tipped from behind against Florida State. So Eagles get it back.
Is this our first look at Van Timmeren, I believe, in this half? And she had a great first half.
Yep, she checks in for Waggoner because Waggoner had an even better third quarter. A foul.
It's not a bad foul. They had a foul to give, I believe. Oh, no.
Actually, they're in the bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not the foul you want to make that far away from the basket, with the time running out.
And Jasmine, an opportunity for them to tie the ball game. Mair drains the first of the pair. She's shooting 78% from the free throw line. Gets them both. Tied ball game with 1.5 left in the quarter. Gordon catches, and we'll just let it go as we have 3 down and 1 to go, and a thriller here to finish.
Florida State found some momentum here in that third quarter, and it had a lot to do with Timpson, but Boston College still right there, tied it up to go into the fourth.
Yeah, it was a nice little dunk. I mean, don't you have one of those on the resume? No, yes, no.
I mean, in my dreams.
Or maybe just on 2K. I'm going to sign a petition right now. I need to see my girl Jasmine Thomas on the next cover of 2K.
Yeah, I'll sign that with you.
Right out of the gate, Bejedi, who just continues to pile on the points. She's having quite the night. 20 points for her. And that's well past her season high. She had 15 points. Eight on the shot clock. Top of the key, Van Timmer and short.
And another offensive rebound.
So you mentioned it, 12-5. The Eagles are winning in that department. And that's what I was going to say, Jazz, as far as what they're doing off of those second chances, though they haven't been able to convert. 15 boards, but they've only had 6 points on second chance.
They haven't, and it would definitely make a significant difference if they could convert. But the effort to get extra possessions and take away from Florida State's possessions, as well as not allow them to get out in transition, is still going to be worth it for them to do.
Offensive foul. That goes against Latson. That's her second offensive foul of the ball game, her third personal.
And I think I might be seeing a little bit of frustration coming from her. It has been tough for her to find a rhythm. And like I said, when teams take charges on players that are aggressive and, you know, that look to score, it does change how you have to play.
And that's tied up. You see Latson. Here's our ACC Network Wednesday night college basketball doubleheader at 7 Eastern. Blake Hinson and Pittsburgh square off against Kyle Filipowski and number 16 Duke at Cameron Indoor. Then Florida State heads to Winston-Salem to take on the Demon Deacons. Both games are also available on the ESPN app. I don't think we can ask for a better game to this point. Boston College entering today's game against Florida State, who's receiving votes after taking down number 10, NC State. Timpson trying to avoid the upset, though, as she hits another putback and gives Florida State the 1-point lead.
And that is an area where she can find some success, you know, be able to get some easy putbacks. I think that'll help her get a rhythm. It'll also give some, you know, uplift her team a little bit, not put so much pressure on making shots.
Bejedi all over the floor, right? I mean, you can see her with the offensive foul there, sacrificing the body and just 1 point away from tying her career high.
She's just locked in. She's doing it on the defensive end. She's hitting the three. She's getting out in transition. She's been at the free throw line. She is just doing it all.
Going back to NC State last year, in March, she had 21 points. The first quarter you saw was a little slow start for all No's in the first half, but erupted in the third. And sometimes it's just contagious as Gordon tracks it down and gets the 2. Daly left alone, 1 dribble, fouled, and will step up to the free throw line.
Here you see the great hustle by Gordon to get the loose ball offensive rebound and put it in for a putback.
This is a player still working herself back into what we saw in her freshman season. She missed the first game due to a foot injury that she was coming from. Actually had surgery in the off season. She's had single digits in all of the conference games, but this is a two-time Florida Gatorade Player of the Year. Highly touted out of high school. And now coming off the bench for Florida State, still making an impact. Look on the inside, no good. And we've seen a couple of takes on the inside for Florida State in this quarter where they won it back. This on the inside, and it goes for both sides, I guess, Jazz.
It does. You know, just it's the fourth quarter now. It's a winning time, so it's really time to focus and be able to convert those easy plays.
Both teams about even when you're looking at turnovers. 16 for the Eagles, 15 for Knowles. Another travel called, and that goes against the Eagles.
Mair just kind of makes up her mind before the play actually develops and drags that pivot foot and gets called for the travel.
As we all know, you can't score without the ball. A couple of possessions where the Eagles could have put themselves in a good position to take the lead once again, and coughs the ball up. Daly tried to tip from behind, instead gets the foul. That's her first personal foul. So 6:32 to go. Boston College gave up 7 points in that third quarter to Florida State. Was able to come back after that halftime deficit.
Boston College has done a great job defending without fouling Latson and not putting her on the free throw line.
But the Knowles have continued to put Waggoner at the free throw line. She'll be stepping up to the free throw line for 10 and 11. Now 7 for 10. Has 19 points. Her and Mair, the only players in double figures for the Eagles. Mair has 13. And she knocks down the second. Latson still looking to get in double figures at 8 points. Timpson, high post, off glass.
We've not seen Florida State play with much of an offensive rhythm. We've seen them score off of some broken plays, off of some offensive rebounds, but we haven't seen them score much out of their offense.
Latson is able to get the ball off the glass and step up to the free throw line. And this is a player that has 14 consecutive games with 20 or more points. You can see the only other player that she is behind, male or female, is Trey Young. He did that while he had 18 at Oklahoma. And she's got some ground to make up if she's going to get back to that point, but we've seen it done before.
We have. She can definitely run off some points in bunches. So I expect to see Boston College definitely stay locked in on her for the rest of this game. But, you know, she's going to keep trying to find her moments where she can score.
Latson in the corner working baseline, trying to get to the left. Doesn't, can't quite get it to fall.
There has been some contact on some of these finishes, so I know that it's going to be hard to think that there's no fouls happening, but, you know, we got to just stay aggressive. She has to stay aggressive.
And the only contact on the other side was Mair getting the bottom of the net, but Latson with the quick response. Quick game we're seeing here, a foul.
Yeah, the tempo has definitely picked up.
So Lacey just leaks out. But it all begins with Mair finding the bottom of the net.
Weaving in and out in transition. Gets it back on the three. And then you have Lacey right back again, going to the line for two.
And even more important, Jasmine, that's the fourth personal foul against Taina Mair. So 2 players now with 4 for Florida State, including Massengill. We've got a good one, 59 all. What more do you want on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? ACC play, Conti Forum, Florida State, Boston College going down to the wire. 59 across the board, and when you look at how this game is going, you understand the depth of this league. You can see the ACC in the top 25. Notre Dame been taking care of business all season long. 4th, Virginia Tech 9th, NC State. That may change a little bit as Boston College upset them in their previous game. And here are the ACC standings to this point. Duke, Florida State, and Notre Dame are the only teams that are undefeated. But Jasmine, as you have talked about since the beginning of the season, each team has to be prepared to step on the floor and take on whomever, because it's a league that has so much depth and anyone can win.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good to be part of a strong conference. It just prepares you for postseason, but it makes every game so important. I think there are teams from last season who are much improved this year. And so whereas you typically can have those games where you know you might be able to come away with a win, it's not the case this season.
How about the opening week for ACC play? You had 3 of the top 25 teams in the ACC get upset. So there's a little bit of understanding how it's a dogfight each night. A foul, that's going to go against Bejedi. So Bejedi has 3 fouls now.
Known as an aggressive defender, just got a little too aggressive on that play with the body.
But I think the most important part about this, Jasmine, is that Boston College is in the bonus. So we've seen how the 3-ball has kept them in the ball game, but their points in the paint. And they're 2 points behind Florida State, but we've seen how they can apply the aggression on the inside to get back to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's something they've consistently done today, is put the pressure on the defense to get inside the paint and get to the basket and draw those fouls. Waggoner, I would say, is someone who has led the charge in doing that, and her teammates have just followed through.
Latson, who has 4 personal fouls, has 10 points.
Just having an off night.
Just short. We've been there before. We've seen it, but how will she continue to give to her team? As she's talked about, that's some of the things that gets her going as well, to avoid the first loss at Conti Forum in program history. Another travel call for the Eagles. That's turnover number 18. But Jazz, I think it's also something to put when you have a dead ball turnover, especially with the quickness of Florida State, that helps.
Oh, it absolutely helps. You know, you never want to turn it over, but like you said, a dead ball turnover that allows you to get your defense set, just like now, where you can get a stop and get back on offense is ideal.
Right in the passing lane. It gets the bucket to go. Aaron Howard.
That was an extremely tough finish.
Ties the ball game at 61. Aaron Howard has 5 points. Underneath, beautiful play action and the nice finish by JoJo Lacey.
That was a great pass, a great cut, and a great finish.
Left alone in the corner, Bejedi can't connect. Mair at the top of the key. She was hot in the 3rd quarter, dishes it off. How about it? Andrea Daly with a huge 3 leads to a timeout for the Noles as they have the 5 5-point lead with 2:48 left in the fourth. So the Eagles are soaring. 5-point lead. Florida State looking for some answers.
Cracked windshield? Make it easy and schedule with SafeLight because you can track us and see exactly when we'll be there.
I have a few more minutes. Let's go.
That's service that fits your schedule. Go to safelight.com.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're gonna feel the difference.
Boston College can smell upset in their home arena. This is how they've been able to go on a little bit of their own run down the stretch.
You see the ball movement, playing as a team, being confident, hitting shots. Boston College just looks good right now.
Timpson short on the shot amongst the trees, and a foul is assessed. There's but so much you can do when Makayla Timpson is able to get her own rebound.
Credit to her for being relentless on the glass right there. She had 3 bodies around her and was able to keep getting it back and getting a shot off.
Timpson, who has been a little up and down the last few games, only had 5 points in their previous game. Still averaging 13 and shooting about 66% from the free throw line. But perfect here tonight.
2 big free throws right there to be able to put in and make it a 1-possession game.
You can see there the last time that Boston College beat FSU was back in 2020. That was away for them at the Donald Tucker Center in Tallahassee. But this will be their first win at home against the Noles, as another turnover for the Eagles. A little bit too much contact at the top of the key.
And another defensive play by Bejedi to be able to fight through that screen and get over and draw that foul. She bodies up to her defender and she just draws the contact, and it's the right call with a hip check to the body.
So Maria Gakdang will be retired from this ball game. Fouls out with 4 points. And the stars for both sides have seen better days, as even though Taina Mair is in double figures, shot 4 for 15 from the field. 5-second call for Florida State, as Taina Mair was looking for some type of help at the top of the key. Instead,
Probably
gets called for a 16 turnover.
An uncharacteristic play right there for her to just pick up her dribble for no reason, really. Just unsure of what she wants to do today.
Less than 2 minutes to play in this ball game. Eight on the shot clock. Van Timmeren, who has been quiet in the second half, dishes it off to Lacey. Top of the key, Van Timmeren, that's blocked. Noles have numbers, sends it up the court, and steps on the baseline. So an opportunity that could have been had, they instead give it back to the Eagles after incredible defense on the other end.
It's definitely not a play you want to come up with empty. You know, she just gets that foot right there, tip of the toes on the baseline. But after a great defensive play and a chance right now to get a score, you just need to really take your time and be able to get what you want at this point in the game.
I was going to ask you, where do you want them to score within the shot clock, with it being a 1-possession game?
If she was able to catch that and come down and get a layup, that's perfect. But, you know, it kind of was a long pass. She didn't feel good about it, so maybe just being able to save the possession would have been good.
Latson at the top of the key, less than a minute to play in this one. Boston College up 3, looking for their second straight upset. Sends it to Bejedi. You bet! Ties the ball game with 40 seconds left.
She is having herself a game, and credit to her teammates, credit to Latson for looking for her, for finding her wide open in the corner.
Big-time player, Bejedi with a new career high, 23 points, as she ties the ball game at 66.
Bejedi has been the constant for Florida State today. You see her here with the three-pointer in the corner. She is just playing with so much confidence. See it again, knocks it down. The bench is loving it. Florida State is feeling it. They have themselves in the game again.
We've been tied 6 times. We've had 5 lead changes. Boston College held the lead for about 11 minutes. But Florida State saying we want to stay perfect at Conti. And you can see the game summary right to your left of the screen. And Bejedi, that's where we have to start because she has a new career high, 23. It's been all over the floor for this squad, and it comes down to those winning plays that she provided on both ends. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Both teams in the bonus. 10 on the shot clock. Mair. .3 left. Florida State gets the ball back, and with the timeout, they can advance the ball to half court.
She got a good look at it, so I can see her wanting to take that shot. Is it the best shot that they wanted at the time? I'm not really sure, but I'm interested to see what they will do on the defensive end right now.
So Bejedi will go back to her with her new career high of 23 points. You think she gets another touch coming out of the break?
I think so. I mean, she has really done everything. She's been extremely confident and scored the ball well at all levels. That's at the rim, that's at the three-point line, that's the mid-range. I mean, at the free throw line, you know, right now, who knows if it might end up a foul situation since they're in the bonus. I think she's the hot hand that you go to right now.
So it's about how players are able to step up. We talked about the Timurin on the side for Boston College. Bejedi has been the answer for Florida State. They get the ball to Latson at the top of the key. We asked Coach Brooke, what would she do down the stretch, time and score? She said, I want to feed the hot hand. Latson in and out. We've got overtime. And Chestnut Hill.
You know, she had a nice look at it. She got all the way to the basket. Has had a tough night, but to have the confidence to be able to go in and take that last play. Not surprising to have the ball in Latson's hands for the last play to take the lead, and it just rims out.
So Latson, 4 for 16 from the field today. But guess what, Jazz? We get more time on the clock, which means it's 0-0. So we'll say it's 0-0 in the stats as well, because at this point, it's all hands on deck. Bejedi has been the answer for Florida State. Points off of turnovers have been huge for the Noles. They have 22.
You know, coming into this overtime, you have Gakdang, who just fouled out. You have Waggoner, who has 4. And then from Florida State, you have Latson and Massenjo, who are in foul trouble. So I'm curious to see how that impacts this overtime.
And we'll see that because when you're looking at Massengill as well as Latson, that's a style of play getting to the rim. Latson had 3 of those fouls. 3 of the 4 were offensive fouls. So we'll see how that adjusts her game a bit, but let's be honest. We're just glad that we get to call 5 extra minutes of ACC play. This has been a fun one.
It really has. It has been a great game. The tempo, the big plays being made all around. It's been a great game.
Ball finds the hands of Latson. She quickly sends it up. Rims out to 3. Mair. Daly all the way to the rim. First on the board in extra minutes of play.
She has had herself quite a good game, too. She's gotten a lot of rebounds. She's just kind of used her energy and her effort to be all over the place, and that was a great, strong take.
For those that are in right now looking for Pitt Louisville, you can watch that on the ESPN Plus app as this one comes to a conclusion with overtime. So a foul assessed. Ali Van Timmeren did a bulk of her work in the first half. Had 9 points. Misses the free throw there. Looking for her first points of the second half and now overtime. Gets it to go. Gordon in the ball game. And that's something to really take into account too, Jasmine, with Latson on the bench. We'll see if she comes back into the ball game. She does have the 4 fouls, so maybe some offense, defense we may see down the stretch.
Yes, for sure. You're definitely going to want her to be able to be in this game. So if you can save her from fouling out, you're going to do that.
Tip from behind, Eagles with numbers. Mair dishes it off, spin move on the inside. Maybe one spin too many, but gets it to go.
Look at those knees. She got all, she almost sat down and was still able to finish that layup.
Bejedi from deep. Can't get it to go. The rebound by Aaron Howard, no good, and we have contact underneath.
And here you see Coach Wyckoff just furious that they didn't call the travel on that last layup.
No, they've heard it all. At this point, it's been an intense game all day with our officials, Timothy Bryant, Nick Capel, and Whitney Armstrong on the call. 10 on the shot clock. Van Timmeren.
She has been great. She has been great, just composed and calm and just made plays all game when they needed her to.
And now has a new season high. Sitting at 12, coughed up, and another turnover. That's back-to-back turnovers for the Noles.
Florida State looks a bit rattled right now, and the time is on Boston College's side. So I would expect to see Florida State ramp up their intensity, pick the ball up, maybe even full court, and kind of try to speed up the game and get some possessions.
And I wonder if that horn there is even seeing Latson come back in the ball game. And it seems like it is, because you mentioned it, Jasmine, just having your go-to player on the bench dealing with foul trouble, how that affects you down the stretch when she usually has the ball in her hands.
It does, because even though she's not scoring how we're used to seeing her score, her being on the floor garners that attention.
So free throws have been an adjustment for the Eagles in overtime. They're now 2 for 4.
And they have quietly crept up to an 8-point lead here.
Get the ball back as a lot of time is on the clock, but the momentum now with the Eagles. Bejedi hounding Mair at the top of the key, forces her into a tough shot, and Bejedi comes up with the ball. Both teams in the bonus, so Bejedi will step up to the free throw line and shoot free throws 8 and 9.
Both teams going after that loose ball, gonna fight for every possession until the final second.
You think they won it? Florida State trying to avoid dropping a game in program history at Boston College.
You know, Coach Mack talked about her Boston College team being, being the upset team and going to each game just focused and really trying to play together. And you have Taina Mair directing people, huddling her team, being that floor general. And as a freshman, it is important that your point guard is able to keep her composure and control her team. And I think she's been doing that today.
Couldn't quite get it to fall there as the Eagles come down with the rebound and time someone on their side as they're approaching the 2-minute mark. For those looking for that Pitt-Louisville game, you can catch it on the ACC Network Extra. And we'll get it on this network as soon as this game concludes. So there's a timeout assessed, and this has been a fun one as Boston College has been putting all they have on the floor to get a win and another upset back-to-back in ACC play.
Feels like we're on to something. Feels like a change is coming. Feels like a change is coming.
Kelsey Riggs with this update in the studio. Pitt and Louisville just tipped off at the KFC Yum Center. We will take you over to that game at the conclusion of this one. It's on the ESPN app right now, but Angel and Jasmine, what a great finish we've got.
That's Brooke Wyckoff in the huddle with her squad that's trying to see if they can force a comeback against Boston College as they right now have the 74-67 lead with 2:01 to play in overtime. Jazz, going back to that huddle, a few things that you think that Coach Wyckoff could have been addressing for them to really find that spark with 2 minutes left.
I think to be disruptive right now, I think that's what they would need to do is just try to get a turnover, try to get Boston College to take a quicker shot so that they can come back down and have a chance on the offensive end to score.
Jazz, we could be anywhere in the world, and we're right here on the ACC Network calling Boston College, Florida State. Florida State starting ACC play 4-0 as Boston College, as we mentioned, coming in off that huge upset over NC State.
Really just coming together as a team. I think they did grow in that NC State game, and they have the momentum, and to win that on the road and then come in and have a big game at home, they have played well today.
You remember Coach Mack just telling us if we can find the consistency in how we play, when we have something on a chip on our shoulder, that's when we've taken the next step. Waggoner forces the contact there, stops the clock, and steps up to the free throw line, 153.
And just again, putting her head down, taking it strong to the basket, and getting to the line. She's been on the free throw line all day.
This is her 5th double-double of the year, 20 and 14. She just had a game with 23 and 10. What more do you want? Well, if you ask her, she wants to win here at County Forum. Latson dishes on the inside to Timpson. Timpson rolls that one in. 6-point ball game. .137 left.
And you're going to see Florida State try to defend without fouling.
That's tipped from behind, and a foul is actually on cue. Going to be called against Jasmine Massengill. That may be her 5th, Jazz.
You know, didn't get her into the screen, got beat baseline and tried to just tip it from behind. And fouls out. Fouls out of the game on that play.
So we have a player on one side with Maria Gakdang fouling out with 4 points for Boston College, and now Massengill, who had 8 points, 9 rebounds, and now retired for Florida State.
Boston College with this lead, but still needing to put these free throws in at the end of the game.
And had opportunity, only 3 for 7 from the free throw line in overtime. Latson continues to struggle from outside, has not hit a 3 in this ball game.
But Florida State still fighting.
Gordon misses it. Guess who's there? Bejedi.
Just a 4-point game. Exactly. It's plenty of time. Plenty of time. Boston College needs to take their time, obviously, use the clock, but just be strong with the ball, take care of it.
As we mentioned, Boston College got its first top 10 win since 2010 on Thursday. Even though Florida State isn't ranked in the top 25, they've been receiving votes. There's a timeout on the play. We'll go back to the last bucket by Florida State. Hustle plays, that's where it all begins if they want to get back in this one.
Yeah, and as you see, the poke, the tip, running, missed the layup, but right there for the putback. Gonna fight until the very end of this game.
Bejedi with 26 points. You talk about her aggression. She's just been so balanced. 4 threes for her today. 8 for 10 from the free throw line. She's just been doing it all for the Noles. You can see the comparison of the stars for today. Dontavia Waggoner has put on a show herself. Already has 3 games where she's had 20 and 10. Nine on the shot clock. And they're actually going to foul here. So Bejedi was trying to communicate with coach, and she was like, hey, wait, we got a ball game here.
She already told her what the game plan was. She just wanted her to go out and do it.
So almost a good game plan to foul here because the Eagles have struggled from the free throw line in overtime. Currently 4 for 10 from the free throw line in overtime, as they have the 5-point lead with 37.6 left, and we'll see what Brooke Wyckoff draws up to cut into this deficit. So Dontavia Waggoner, how about her stepping up, Jazz? What have you seen from her in her play?
I've just seen her relentless, her energy, her aggressiveness. At all points of the game, she has just been tenacious. And, you know, she started off kind of getting to the rim, but not finishing. And then since then, she has just been hot.
Well, I forgot about this highlight reel because that one may have kick-started the run because they have been on fire behind her leadership, behind her aggression underneath. But I think it really comes down to different people being able to step up at the right time on both sides of the floor. Dontavia Waggoner, I think her free throws and her being able to step up to the free throw line has really helped Boston College in this ball game. 5-point lead.
I'm sure quick score is I would think Florida State was going for just the quickest score that they can get, but just can't really find the open shot that they want.
But that bounces off of Daly. You can see the quick look that you were talking about, shot by Bejedi. And they got the call right on this one. So Gordon, nothing there, and a timeout called. Wise timeout. Instead of trying to dribble out of the traffic, they have the one to advance the ball with 22 seconds left.
And that's a big offensive rebound right there, to be able to play good defense, get them to miss a shot, and a team that has been relying kind of on their offensive rebounding and putback in the second half, to be able to secure that offensive rebound is big. I mean, that defensive rebound is big.
So that's the last timeout for Boston College. Florida State still has one. Both teams are in the bonus. 22 left. And just to revisit this, FSU leading this series 18-2. They are perfect at Conti Forum at 8-0 record. And Boston College trying to shake some things up in ACC play and make some noise of their own. This would be a very big win for their schedule. So, Jasmine, do you do like a 2-for-1 in different scenarios going into Boston College huddle? They don't have any more timeouts. Offense, defense assignments, what are they discussing there?
Probably, I would say what to do right now as far as I would think Florida State would foul. So being strong with the ball and not giving them an easy kind of turnover. First and foremost, getting it in. Inbounding the ball in these pressure situations right now is actually very difficult. So just being able to get the ball in safely.
They send it back court. Waiting for the foul. Nothing called.
Oh.
They almost send it underneath. And that could have gone a myriad of ways. But a foul assessed against Florida State.
Yeah, I mean, Boston College gets it in easy. I think Florida State goes for the foul. They don't call it. And then instead of just, you know, kind of holding it out, dribbling it out, making an easy play, they almost turn it over. It ends up in free throws for Van Timmeren.
Van Timmeren struggling at this point. Shot 50% from the free throw line today. 1 for 3 at this point. Back iron on that. Lacey thought it was off the Knowles. Instead, Florida State will see if they get the ball back, but not before the officials take a look at the tape and see who's off. That should be an easy one.
Yeah, it should.
So as they're going to draw the conclusion of who that went off of, Boston College didn't have any timeouts left. So this is also another opportunity for them to fine-tune some things and be on the same page.
Especially on the defensive end. I think it's pretty clear that that is off of Boston College, but we'll see what they come up with. But I imagine that they're talking about, I mean, I would think Florida State would go for a 3 in this moment. So maybe what they want to do on any on-ball or off-ball screens, whether that's switching to keep bodies on bodies and not give any open looks, but definitely to box out and secure another rebound after whatever shot goes up.
All right, so as we expected, it will go to Florida State. However, it seems as if there is a timeout that is called for Florida State. So both teams without timeouts. And Brooke, now that she knows that she has the ball, probably trying to get everybody on the same page on what they want to do to score here. Down 5, so they need 2 possessions. Quick 3, quick 2, what do they go for first?
I feel like go for the 3 right now. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't use that official review time to kind of save their timeout, you know, draw up some kind of play that they wanted to run or give some options for what they wanted to look at so that they do score, do foul, and get another chance at a possession that they could have used their timeout later.
Valid point. Well, Latson has seen better days. 4 for 17 from the field, and you talked about the threes. Where does it come from? Bejedi has been the only player outside of Howard that has knocked down a three for the Noles today. They are 5 for 21, shooting 23%. And this will break the 20 points or more streak for Taina Latson. How about a travel right off that top screen? Gives the Eagles the ball back with 6.9. Bejedi tried to knock that one out. It's a quick turnaround for both teams. As there's another foul at the top of the key with 3.7. And even though the Eagles have struggled from the free throw line in this ball game, with them with the 5-point lead, they got to be happy about how they've been able to do the work early in this ball game.
And just their attention and execution of the game plan on the defensive end, on the offensive end, weathering any runs, coming off of a big win. And, you know, sometimes you come off a big win and you have a drop-off. They came into this game and they stayed focused, stayed together as a team. Boston College has really had a good game today.
And that last second call is no good, and Boston College, they do it. They get their first win against Florida State at home, and they're back-to-back upset wins in conference play. For Jasmine Thomas and our producer, Michael Baker, and our entire crew, I'm Angel Gray saying so long from Boston College. Our final score, 77-71. This has been a presentation of ESPN. We'll send you out to Louisville for the second game of our triple header.